Great. This is Jim Bounds with Co-op Motorworks and Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and as promised, this is the second episode about the world, where we're going, what's going on, and as I told you first, we're going to start with the main ingredient, which is Jason Stryker here. Jason, I met him. He was next door. He lives in the building next door. One day he came over and said, "Hey, you guys need any help?" I said, "Get your butt over here." And so Jason's a real big and very, very important ingredient in this thing, and I want you to know a little bit more about him, okay? So Jason, take it away. Tell him about yourself.
All right, thank you. All right, so a lot of you guys have already seen me in some videos and stuff. So as he said, I'm Jason Stryker, and I kind of get started, back in childhood of growing up on a farm. So tinkering with motors and stuff all day, fixing combines and tractors, all that stuff. So my dad was an iron worker. He was also in the Seabees and the Navy back in Vietnam. And my mom was a EMT and firefighter. She was also a stay-at-home mom, but she did like any kind of construction too, along with my dad. They built a log cabin together. They built houses together. She had a big background in woodworking. My grandpa was a master carpenter. So I have, a little bit of a background in vehicles and building stuff and stuff like that. And then going into, coming out of high school, I decided I wanted to go in the military. So what I ended up doing is I went in the Marine Corps as a diesel technician. So I did that. I ran a motor pool. After a couple of years, I got to the point where, I turned wrenches for a few years, and then I got promoted up to the point where I was running a motor pool of about 100 Marines. So I was kind of managing a shop, kind of like what I'm doing here, but 100 Marines all turning wrenches, fixing Humvees and 7-tons and up armoring vehicles. And after a few years of that, I got out of the Marine Corps the first time. I went back home after my dad passed away from cancer, and kind of helped my mom out on the farm for a little while again, get her feet back under her. And built a few hot rods, stuff like that. Then the Marine Corps decided to call me back up, so I went back in for a few more years. I was wanting to go back in anyways, so that was a good time. I ended up running a motor pool in New York for a few years, and so that was fun. And then once I finished there, I went to Quantico for a couple of years, and I ran. I was the operations chief of the Wounded Warrior Regiment. So I did all that, but I kind of felt I was getting a little out of touch of being a mechanic. I was just a paper pusher at that point. So I decided to, get out of the Marine Corps, right around my 10-year mark. So I was about halfway through a career, but, it just made sense to do something else with my life that I enjoyed instead of gambling on, enjoying the rest of my time in the Marine Corps. So I got out of the Marine Corps and I went down to Orlando, or came down here, so we're in Orlando now, and I went to the Motorcycle Mechanic Institute and specialized in Harley Davidson. I ended up, graduating with honors, perfect attendance, all that stuff, and right out of school I got offered a job at Richmond Harley Davidson. So went and worked at Richmond Harley for almost a year. I basically worked all through, spring, summer, and then a fall. And as we were going into the winter months, decided that's when I was going to go to commercial dive school. I always had a passion for diving. I got into scuba when I was in Orlando the first time. And so I had decided to, pursue a career in, commercial diving. So I went to the Commercial Dive Academy in Jacksonville. I was valedictorian of that school, and also did the scuba instructor program. So after I got out of there, I was offered a job at Discovery Cove here in Orlando. So that brought me back to Orlando, and I worked there for a few years as a night diver. So I'd clean shark tanks and dolphin pools and the reef. I'd be in there scrubbing it through the night, and then all on scuba and stuff like that. Then after a couple of years of doing that, I was offered a job as the manager of my scuba shop, the one that I originally was got scuba certified at. So I ended up taking that. I did about 4 years at that shop, and it changed owners and stuff. So it just kind of came to an end where I didn't really want to stay there anymore. I wanted to do something else. I wanted to get back into turning wrenches and stuff. And I was actually building a kind of like a little stealth van to live out of when I was talking to Jim, and he asked me to come over and work for him. So I did that. He showed me the place, and I fell in love with these machines. And after a couple months of working here as a technician, my dream machine came in. It just got dropped off, and it was something that was basically traded to us. They wanted the engine and stuff out of it, and it was a trans mode. I'm sure I'll show you some videos of that as I'm building it up later on. You'll probably enjoy that. So it didn't have any windows, didn't have, had the rear ambulance doors. Just fell in love with it. It was exactly what I wanted. I kind of have a different wants and needs and desires than a lot of people want for the motorhomes. But so I ended up getting that motorhome, and that's when I started drinking the punch, really. That's when I really just fell in love with them, and I got hooked. I'm up to 4 now. This is one of them right here. This isn't the trans mode, but we'll talk about this one later too. But I ended up doing some time here as a technician. Did pretty much every job that you could imagine doing on these things. You name it. I started out just doing the little odd jobs, gutting them, and doing some woodworking in them, and building stuff out, and tuning them, and replacing parts and stuff. And I got all the way up to doing engines, transmissions, you name it, quad bags, and everything you can imagine. So I have a pretty good background in these. I've dabbled in just about every part of it. So I know what it takes to really build these up and make them run right. We also got into doing some of the modifications, fuel injection, serpentine, with the CVF kit. I'm sure you've seen a lot of that, my videos. And then doing the new radiators, new fuel tanks, stuff like that. So, I really wanted to get these things to modern or advanced, design. I wanted to really bring them current, what GM would probably build them as if they were building them today, brand new. So that was kind of what really hooked me. And then I ended up getting up to the manager position, and so we're come a long ways. I'm now running the operation here. I'm trying to take over for Jim. I'm as a protege and trying to bring these things into the future. So this is kind of where we're at. And these next few videos, you'll really see the crew, the guys we're working with, and what we have to work with, and where we're going, and kind of our dreams and everything. We are really needing some technicians. So if you know how to turn wrenches, if you have a passion for these, or you think you want to work on them, we can teach you, and we definitely want you here. So I appreciate you watching this video, making it all the way through here. And if you can tell your friends, and maybe see if any of them want to come work here, help us build the dream. All right, thank you.